champions! Champions of Europe finally! History made in Istanbul! The treble complete! The greatest story in club history has an ending! And what a final chapter!
Hello everybody and welcome back to Typical City. Just the small matter of Arsenal away at the Emirates today. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a huge game. How big over the course of the season will have to be seen further into the season, of course, because there are potential other title contenders. We're not top of the league anymore, so surely at this point of the season we have to consider Spurs as a genuine title contender. I hope everyone's doing well, first and foremost. Good to see so many of you in the chat already, and I hope you're all doing really well, looking after yourselves. Cortez, good to see you. Big M, good to see you. Maximed, 3-1 you're going for. 3-1 was Big M as well. I'm still, do you know what, I was 2-2 in the preview. I can't pretend I'm not slightly buzzing that Saka and Martinelli are both not starting. I actually started to think this head games. Was Mikel Arteta doing a few head games? And in the end, no, it's pure honesty. He's not fit. He's not fit to play. He's not even on the bench, whereas Martinelli is. He was rumoured. Jorginho's in there. I'll get onto the team news in a minute, but Chris, good to see you. Jaden, no Doku, but looks good. Am I the only one a little bit nervous about Kovacic in there? It depends, doesn't it? I mean, what I've gone for is a little bit on the attacking side. I don't know if you can see it right. It's actually the Arsenal team on your screen right now. But I've pushed Rico Lewis forward. Realistically, mate, I think he'll probably be alongside Kovacic and maybe have that number 8 role, Rico Lewis. So if it is, I mean, Rico Lewis, we were all talking about it midweek, weren't we, after his performance against RB Leipzig. The guy deserves it, really. There's no questioning that he deserves it. The only issue was, how is he going to play is he going to play the occasion or is he going to play the game? Because this is a big occasion, a monstrous occasion, and a real momentum setter for the rest of the season going forward. More so for Arsenal than City, definitely. I think this is going to be a much bigger game for Arsenal. If we can win this game, I feel like we'll send the message to probably everybody. Liverpool dropping points, that's huge. Away to Brighton, who aren't on the greatest of runs right now, but Spurs, of course, have currently taken our top spot. It sends the message going into the second international break that City are already top of the league, and we're supposed to be that team that gets off to a slow start, and then at the end of the season, the final third of the season, then we hit our stride and we claw back any deficits point-wise on any team that's ahead of us. And usually there's only one team ahead of us. There's very rarely 2 or 3 teams ahead of us by that final stage of the season. Who it will be, we don't know. I mean, if we win this, are you starting to think, is this going to be a decent season for City once again? A Premier League title? It's a bit early to start thinking that excitedly, but still, you know, it's a massive statement. Whereas if Arsenal beat City, I feel like they'll get on their high horse, deservedly so. They'll be excited, they'll be very excitable, their fans will be intolerable, apart from Eric, of course, who's a very rational individual in the chat there. It's good to see that you've stuck with Typical City, mate, to watch an Arsenal versus City game. You're going to have to brace yourself, though, mate, because don't take it personally, but my hate towards the opposition, there's no one who can get in between that. I hate Man United, and my missus supports Man United. I have to hate them, which doesn't mean I hate her. Don't take it personally, Eric. But hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you in the chat. Neither full team full strength, sorry, but City looks much stronger. You're going for 2-1 City. Haaland, Foden, Odegaard. Let's hope for a good game. I think it will be. Timmy in the chat. Good to see you. Chris, hope you're doing well, Chris. D Harsh, nice outfit, bro. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Nuri, good to see you. My brother from another mother. How are you, mate? I'm really good. How are you, buddy? I'm here to mark my attendance, says Sweet. Good to see you, Sweet. Andrew W, good to see you in the chat. And yeah, a few of it. Jan, good to see you down there. How are you? And Section 20, good to see you. Good to see you all. The Stunner Man as well just joined in and watching from Ghana. No way. Hope you're doing well over there. And Lorenzo's just joined. Good to see you, Lorenzo. I mean, let's get straight into the team news before we go any further, because the kickoff is rapidly approaching. I think immediately what springs to mind, obviously there's the Saka and Martinelli absence. Okay, that's an obvious one. But what really surprised me more than anything from Arsenal's team, I'm going to start with Arsenal, was Jorginho. Because he's been making a lot of mistakes lately. I mean, he's almost due a good performance. You just hope it's not today. But the last few games I've seen him, in particular in big games like this, his head's gone. He's made silly mistakes in parts of the pitch where you just can't afford to be doing that. What was it recently? It was a recent game, a really big game. Was it Spurs? It was Spurs, wasn't it? Straight from kickoff, he gives it away, trying to beat whoever it was. Was it Maddison who tackled him? At the back, he'd just scored, gone 2-1 up. You give the ball to Jorginho, and he's trying to beat Maddison as the last man. You know, suicidal stuff, really. So I'm surprised he's been thrown straight in. Obviously, Mikel Arteta thinks highly of him, but it wasn't the only mistake either. I've seen him make numerous mistakes prior to that mistake I've just mentioned against Spurs. So him going in is a surprise. I don't think anything else is that surprising if you take into consideration Saka and Martinelli's absence. The front three is what I predicted for my starting 11, and it seems like exactly what Mikel Arteta's gone for. That front three's got goals, so let's not pretend Saka and Martinelli's absence leaves them in the dirt. It really doesn't. You know, they're ready. They've got goals in that front three. Trossard's got our number as well. He's scored goals for us against us for Brighton and Arsenal in the Community Shield in that 6 billionth minute injury time goal, however many minutes they needed added on in that game for them to equalise. And Nketiah must be going down the middle, and Jesus starting from the back though. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel as the two centre-backs, Zinchenko as left-back, Jorginho and Odegaard and Rice as a midfield three. I imagine Jorginho sitting. Declan Rice is probably going to be a number 8, helping Jorginho when he needs it, helping Odegaard when he needs it. Odegaard will be further pressed forward. And then a front three of Gabriel, Jesus and Nketiah in the middle, Trossard. I've gone for Jesus on the left and Trossard on the right. And we're familiar with that as City fans. Jesus on the left, he did really well at the Bernabeu. When we went away to Real Madrid, he was really good. You know, in a position I don't think he quite likes, but still, he can do dangerous things over there. He's a pest. And Kyle Walker has got his job today. He knows his job. The issue is, how far pressed is Kyle Walker going to be? Is he going to be advancing up the pitch, or is he going to be asked to stay flat alongside the back four? If he's pressing, he's got to be mindful of Jesus. But the other thing to Jesus' game is Jesus might not offer the counter-attacking threat as much as you might think, because Jesus gets back. So it might kill, one way or another. Kyle Walker's got a job today, whether it's in an attacking sense, because Gabriel Jesus is going to get back with him, most likely because he's a workhorse, Gabriel Jesus. We know that as City fans. He works hard, he's a grafter. Then in the other side of the pitch, if he doesn't get back with Kyle Walker, good in the attacking sense, but not good in the counter-attacking sense, because that means Kyle Walker's got a very quick player, not super quick, but Gabriel Jesus is not slow, is he? Who can do us at the other end of the pitch and kill us on the counter-attack. So you've got to be mindful of that. I think that's going to be the battle of the game. What happens in the middle, of course, would have been more interesting if it wasn't Jorginho, because I think Partey would have been a more interesting battle in the middle. But starting with City as well, starting from the back, Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Ake and Gvardiol. I've gone for Ake as the centre-back and Gvardiol as the left-back. I could go either way with that, but I haven't seen Gvardiol play centre-back once this season so far, so I've stuck with familiarity and the pattern of Gvardiol's position. Kovacic, I've stuck on his own. In my formation, I've stuck him on his own more because I've had a beer, so I'm feeling in an attacking sense, I'm feeling bold. I've had a beer, so the formation went, fuck it, stick Rico Lewis up, like attacking midfield, why not? But he'll probably have a number 8 role where I think he's going to have to sit alongside Kovacic for periods of this game. And I've gone for Bernardo on the right, Foden on the left, Alvarez tucked in behind Erling Haaland, and where Rico Lewis goes, I don't know. The bench is looking better than we've probably seen a bench look this season, really. I think that's the best bench we've had this season, which is Ortega, Phillips, Stones. So at the back, feeling good with that as a substitute. Grealish, Doku, both very different types of threats, but threats nonetheless. Gomez, Akanji, another defensive option. Nunes, control. Oscar Bob, Flair. You know, so there's options on the bench that we haven't really seen, as well as experience and youth on there as well, which is good. So I'm pleased with the squad. I really am. But what are your guys' predictions for this formation, most importantly? What are City doing with Rico Lewis? Are they going to sit him, or are they going to go for what they did against RB Leipzig and send him into attacking midfield? I have a feeling he's probably got to do both roles. Just looking at the league table now, Liverpool are 1 point behind us, and we've got a game in hand. So go 4 points clear of Liverpool into the international break. Hoo-hoo. And same can be said about Arsenal, who are a point behind us, and will be 2 ahead of Spurs, who didn't impress me that much against Luton. I still think those 2 red clubs of Arsenal and Liverpool will eventually overtake Spurs at some point, but Spurs look good. They deserve to be where they are to an extent. I think, well, considering they've played more games than us, they deserve to be where they are. I think they played well, but teams are in the tunnel now. Big Morgan Alvarez time. Let's go, boys. Pride in battle. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. It's a big one. There's a bit of nerves. Looking at the nerves there on the faces. Both teams, really. Looking at them lining up in the tunnel. Apprehension amongst plenty of the faces there. And you can understand it, really. I do still maintain this is a bigger game for them than it is for us. It's a game that we can bounce back from. Because if we do lose this, I feel like City fans, well, most City fans will be like, okay, we'll bounce back. We'll hopefully hit our stride further into the season. Let's get to Christmas and see where we are. Whereas, I think if Arsenal lose this game now, you know what the headlines are going to be. It's like, oh, is it a Farmers League? Is City going to whitewash the league? Is it going to be a one-horse race again? Arsenal were the main challengers, supposedly, and now they've fallen 4 points behind the treble winners already. Boo-hoo-hoo. That's what it'll be. But James, good to see you. I felt Doku would start. Me too. I threw him straight in the starting 11. There was part of me that thought he might not. There was a little part of me that thought that he's going to opt for control, in which case he was going to go for Grealish, but he's gone for neither. And I think that's an indication of how much he has faith in Bernardo Silva, because Bernardo Silva is just a class act. He really is, and he's done really well coming back. Against RB Leipzig, he wasn't really, tearing up trees or anything, but I mean, it's just his presence felt reassuring. I felt safe with him out there on the right wing. I felt all right with Bernardo Silva out there, but they're coming out now. Come on, City. Come on. What are your predictions? What are you saying? Section 22 went for 2-1 yesterday. As in to City, yep. 2-1 Cortez. Is that to Arsenal or to City? I presume City. Mustafa, good to see you, buddy. Arsenal cannot afford to lose this game, says Jan. Jaden saying we have to win this. Yeah, we do. We really do. I think it's will be huge, really. And when you say we have to, I don't think we have to win it. I mean, from a psychological point of view, if we win this, I've just said it, it will kill Arsenal. I think it will hurt them more than it would do the other way. But I think it would be a big statement if City were to go and win this. But it really depends on what formation we're going to play as well in terms of how this game pans out, because I think Rico Lewis's involvement is going to be a real indicator and a real sign of where he is as an individual, first and foremost. This is a huge game for him. And his role in the squad, in the team, like what is his position? Because I know a lot of people are talking about the eventual absence of Kyle Walker. He's going to be out of the club soon in terms of age. He's obviously signed a 2-year contract, and I mean that's great news. There is no signs of Kyle Walker slowing down, but you take your mind into the future and think about Kyle Walker not being at the club. Who do you play right back? You immediately go either into the market or you use Rico Lewis. And I don't feel that uncomfortable about Rico Lewis, but I'm starting to think, is he even a fullback anymore? Was he actually a midfielder who was being played fullback when he first came into the squad? Because there was more availability for Rico Lewis to play fullback, because Cancelo was in and out. When Rico Lewis first came into the squad last season, Cancelo was in and out. He fell out of favour with Pep Guardiola to the point where he ended up kicking up a fuss and being shipped out of the club. Not officially yet, but more or less he's out of the club now, Cancelo. That gave Rico Lewis more of an opportunity to play as left-back. That was his debut against Bournemouth last season. He came on against Bournemouth and played left-back. Then we've seen him play right-back. And I think everyone thought, oh, right, well, he must be a full-back then. But obviously something in training has indicated to Pep that that's like, the Philip Lahm role is more, but in reverse, rather like he's going for him, pushing him into midfield, rather than being an out-and-out fullback to begin with. He is actually a midfielder that was playing fullback because he can. You know, he did it with Zinchenko. Zinchenko was a midfielder, really, and then he's got pushed into left-back. So I'm happy that Rico Lewis is starting. If he can play like he did against RB Leipzig, then we've got a hell of a chance to win this game. Alvarez. In terms of what Sky, the broadcaster that I'm watching this game on, they've gone for Rico Lewis dropped alongside Kovacic. So that's the only difference that they've gone for. He is, James. The thing is, there is no signs of Kyle Walker slowing down anytime soon, is there? You know, it's frightening prospect to see. I mean, what an athlete. What an athlete he is. There's Saka. I mean, really, it's become more of an even game. When you consider Saka's absence, Martinelli, who's on the bench. Who else are they missing? Jurien Timber, he's a long-term absentee. But, I mean, we're missing Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri. And I think John Stones, who's on the bench, would be a huge figure in this game if he had match fitness and was fully fit. So it's, in terms of loss for loss, as in players that are missing from both clubs, it's an even game. In terms of what's left behind after those losses, City still have the upper hand because they've lost players and we've lost players, which made us go down and they went down, and it's almost kept it as it was before the losses. Ryan, 4-2 City, Foden scores first. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope you are doing well, mate. Do you reckon, Darren, good to see you, by the way, hope you're doing well. Surprised if Ake isn't left back. Well, the only reason I've put Gabriel left back is because he's been there all season. And I'm looking at the lineup right now as they're all standing in their formation. It does look like Ake's playing centre back. Good to see you, Jeff. Yeah, it's good. It's familiar faces. Good to see you guys. It really is. Kickoff's about to start. I need to get on the clock. And we're off. Come on, City. Come on. Back to Edison. What I don't want to see today, I don't want to see a goal from either side, really. Obviously, I would accept it if it was Arsenal who were to make a mistake. But you don't want mistakes in these types of games. You know, you don't want it to be a headline, right, like a real clanger. And the same can be said about a refereeing decision. You know, I just don't want to see something like that decide the game. I want it to be two teams going at it in terms of quality. And I mean, I really think that this team will have enough quality to beat Arsenal, considering the two lineups. I don't want it to be a mistake or a refereeing decision to decide this game like a shitty penalty. Because to be honest, I still don't think their penalty was a penalty last year away at the Emirates, where Saka equalised for them from the penalty spot. I still don't think it was a clear-cut penalty. Bugs me. Kovacic, Gabriel into space. Rico Lewis, who's right in the middle of the park. He's definitely doing what I've done in my formation. He's in attacking midfield right now, Rico Lewis. Sitting alongside Foden, who's not... I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Kyle Walker's advanced. Alvarez and Foden are in the middle. Now Rico's dropped. So there is a box, actually. There is a box in the middle of the park. You've got Rico Lewis and Kovacic, so I'll take that back. Rico, it looks like so... It's going to be fluid, isn't it? It's going to move as the game progresses. But to give you a picture of what's going on, Kovacic and... Bernardo Silva, what's he doing all of a sudden? He's now in defensive midfield. I don't know what they're doing. You're going to have to bear with me here, because this is mental, what they're doing. This is pure overload in the middle of the park. We are outnumbering them and trying to gain that numerical advantage in the middle of the park. Because Bernardo Silva right now is in between Diaz and Ake. He's the deepest player, Bernardo Silva. Anyone else got an idea what the hell Pep's doing here? We have to wait and see how it pans out. But Bernardo Silva's the deepest player. Ahead of them is two in line with each other of Kovacic and Rico Lewis. So... Foden and Alvarez. It looks like our wide play is going to become from Gabriel and Kyle Walker. And I think Bernardo Silva's playing a very deep-lying defensive midfielder. And still in sort of defensive midfield, but a little bit more advanced is Kovacic and Rico Lewis. And Gabriel and ahead of them is Alvarez and Foden, who are also tucked in very centrally. So our only width, therefore, is coming from Gabriel and Walker. Which is odd. A new system. Entirely new system. But, you hope it works, don't you? Jeff, Prediction's almost ready. Here we go. Raya boots it poorly. Gabriel intercepts and bursts forward with it. Tries to tuck it inside, but Declan Rice picks up the pieces. Declan Rice overhits it for a throw-in. Nervous from Arsenal so far. Raya, poor kick out from the goalkeeper. Then Declan Rice looking a bit nervous as well. Kyle Walker, first goal. Jeff's called it. Mate, if that happens as well, that'll sting Arsenal fans, being a former Spurs lad as well. I think it's interesting. Yeah, I'm watching it live, James, in terms of, I'm on Sky, so it's going to be as close to the live action as possible. But yeah, pause me if you need to. But you might be behind the chat if you do that, so take your pick, mate. Foden, corner. Whipped in, good one. Under everybody. Oh, off the line by Declan Rice. Gabriel got a hooked left foot on it at the back post, and Declan Rice clears it off the line. Ake's in! Ake! Over the bar! How's he missed? He's got to score. He's got to score. Arsenal just woeful defending there. Declan Rice saves it off the line. It's trickling over the line. Declan Rice clears it. Then it comes back in. Alvarez nodded header in. Haaland flicks it on. Lands to Ake. Brings it down and he boots it. Volleys it over the bar. Nathan Ake's got to score. He's got to score. Should be 1-0. Should be 1-0 this early. Should be. Gutted. Oh, you're kidding me. That's a bad miss. That's a bad miss from Nathan Ake. And they're in Arsenal. Trossard coming down the other end of the pitch with Gabriel Jesus to support him. Gabriel steps in and knocks it out for a throw-in. Where was Alvarez there? He was on the edge of the area, Jan. He was the one who nodded it back into the danger zone. But yeah, not really in the thick of it, was he? But I mean, he's not going to offer much aerial threat, Gabriel Jesus, is he? So I imagine keeping him on the edge of the box from a corner would be quite wise, because I mean, we know he can finish from outside the box. We saw that against Wolves, and we saw that against RB Leipzig as well. That's the one. That's huge. That goal that we've just missed. That's huge. Kovacic's getting under pressure, but back to Edison. Game slowed down a little bit. Oh, it could be 1-0. It could be 1-0. And it should be. Positive signs from City, though. Definitely look more positive than Arsenal do so far. And we look like we've hit the ground running in this game. There's no dodgy passes. They look a bit cooler on the ball. Arsenal, on the other hand, giving it away 2 or 3 times already. A little bit sloppy. Rico Lewis getting caught on the ball. Kyle Walker knocking it back. Ooh, a bit complacent from City at the back there. Kyle Walker luckily getting a throw in, to be honest. If you could drop a like on the stream, if you haven't already, it would be a really big appreciation from my part. I really would appreciate if you could. Nathan Ake, so yeah, Bernardo Silva's as deep as it can get from a midfielder, really, here. He's as deep lying as you can get, which is, I don't think anyone would have said that at the start of this game, but it's not the first time we've seen this. He has done it before, and he's done it in big games as well. He's done it against Real Madrid. He did it at Old Trafford. I remember him playing in between the 2 centre-backs. I'm pretty sure Otamendi was one of them, as he was just drifting in between the centre-backs, and he's given us that extra outlet from the back. And right now, this is good from City's point of view, because I think we suit that in terms of playing out from the back. Because lately, the last 3 games we've gone up against, long ball over the top to Zinchenko, who can't control it, gives it away. Alvarez keeps the ball. RB Leipzig, Wolves, Newcastle, none of those teams came out and really went for it. You know, it was a counter-attack job. That's what they went for. Apart from Newcastle, who probably had a bit of a flurry. It wasn't really a counter-attack from Newcastle, was it? But it was like a flurry of attacking football just to try and take us by surprise, and it worked. Long ball over the top to Haaland, who's chasing Saliba. Saliba slipped, but he gets back up and does well. Holds off Haaland. Arsenal fans celebrate like they scored a goal, because Saliba stopped Haaland. That's a sign of how much they fear Haaland, isn't it, more than anything? The fact that they celebrated Haaland not getting the ball. But today, in comparison to the last 3 teams we've faced, Arsenal aren't going to sit back. They were never going to do that. They're not doing it right now. They want to go tit for tat and blow for blow when it comes to possession. And here they go. Gabriel Jesus is on the right-hand side of the pitch right now, and he's got a load of space going up against Gabriel. One-on-one. Gabriel blocked. Good cross, blocked. Well done, Gabriel. Good defending. Allowed him to get a bit far into infield then. Gabriel, to be honest, needs to come out a little bit quicker. Try and prevent Gabriel Jesus from getting inside the box. He allowed him inside the box, but he didn't lunge in. He just shepherded him and blocked the cross. Corner ball to Arsenal. I already need a pee, so I'm going to have to go at half-time. That's what beer does to me. But Saka is probably happy he's not playing after Ake bossed him last season, says Jeff. He absolutely does. Hopefully, mate, because Ake was class in that game. Corner ball to Arsenal. Odegaard above it. Taking his time with this one. Short one's on, but Foden's come out. Whipped in. Oh, not cleared by Foden half-heartedly. It's not gone out of the area yet. It's just gone up in the air. Kovacic getting underneath it. Nods it to Foden. Alvarez trying to get involved. The ball's more or less away, but still with Arsenal. Gift, good to see you. Jack, good to see you. Long ball. Who's this? Ben White on the ball. Deflected cross. Nketiah in the box. Odegaard edge of the area. Jorginho getting further away from goal. Oh. It's all Arsenal. Last couple of minutes. Looking threatening. Offside. Take that. Jorginho needs as much pressure on him as possible. He can't hack it when he hasn't got 10 yards of space, says Ryan. I agree, mate. I don't know if you joined me in the chat earlier, but Madison proved that, didn't he? Closing him down. He does. He overthinks it, doesn't he, sometimes? He's not really done that well at Arsenal, Jorginho, has he? We're pressed in here, really struggling. Oh, good play from Ake, getting it to Foden. Jorginho's on his back, though. Foden's trying to bring it forward. Brought down, that's a yellow card. Get the yellow out immediately. Yellow card, Michael Oliver. Yeah, you go. Jorginho's on a yellow card. 10 minutes into the game. I'll take that. Mikel Arteta's grabbed Jorginho because he was nearby already, having a word in his ear, saying, don't be so shit. Hopefully. I mean, that was a foul all day long and a yellow card early on for your defensive midfielder. Not ideal. Hopefully you've got to put him under pressure now. We're almost playing with the ball 2-3-4-1 at the minute. Trossard bringing it forward. Kyle Walker getting back. That's that role I'm talking about. Kyle Walker's got a lot of running to do today because he's offering width going forward. And there was on. Trossard had space down the left-hand side, but Kyle Walker gets back. Zinchenko's tucking inside, doing the old inverted roll that we're pretty familiar with. City pushing them back, though. Arsenal passing it backwards. Keep going backwards and further back, looking for a red and white shirt, but keep going. All of a sudden, they're going back to the goalkeeper in a minute here. And so they do, back with Raya drawing us out. Could that work against us, though? There must be spaces behind now because there are 6 City players pressing Arsenal. Raya goes long with it, looking for that space, straight through all the way to Edison. Looks like we're not going to win, mate, says Jaden. Why do you think that? Ryan, he's getting sent off this half, hopefully, mate. Take that. Take that. Yeah, so the formation is 2-3-4-1. 2 being Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake. 3 being Kovacic, Bernardo Silva and Rico Lewis. 4 being Kyle Walker and Gabriel with Foden and Alvarez in the middle. That's the next line. And then ahead of them is Erling Haaland. But, I mean, Walker and Gabriel have got... I mean, I hope they had the Weetabix this morning because they're going to be knackered after this game. They got a lot of running to do today. A lot of running. Not a big fan of Weetabix, to be honest. Don't know why everyone says it's the biggest energy supplier ever. It really... I feel quite bloated and sluggish after a bowl of Weetabix, to be honest. Raya playing a nice short ball out to Jorginho right through the middle. City are pressing high, really high. Bro, Haaland couldn't score in 3 games. Nah, he's rubbish, isn't he? He's crap, that Haaland. He only scored 6 billion goals last season. He's rubbish. You don't even have Weetabix in the States, do you not? There's a lot of American food heading over to here now, to be honest, and the tax we have to pay, it costs a fortune. But you guys love your Cadbury's, don't you? But you call it Cadbury, don't you? I've heard you all say it, you guys in the US, Cadbury. It's not Cadbury, it's Cadbury. You've got to be a bit smoother with the word Cadbury's. Cadbury's. And Cadbury's shits on your chocolate. I'm sorry. The American food is, some of it's good, I quite like some of it, but Cadbury's chocolate destroys American chocolate. Whatever it is, Hershey's and all that stuff, Cadbury's is so much better. Long ball, picked up by Raya. Foden asking what you're doing there. That was a poor ball from Kyle Walker. Gabriel doing good bit of defending on Jesus. So they swapped wings. I think Gabriel Jesus started on the left with Trossard on the right, but I think they've swapped wings because I think Gabriel Jesus versus Gabriel. Obviously, Mikel Arteta sees that as a more favourable one-on-one scenario from an Arsenal point of view. When Haaland starts making goals is when Kevin De Bruyne is back. At the minute, Haaland's been a decoy, hasn't he? He's been the sacrificial lamb for our success. Do you know what I mean? Like he keeps involving so many other defenders and dragging other defenders out of position that therefore other players are free. And that's why we're still winning games, albeit we didn't win against Newcastle and Wolves, I understand that. And maybe Haaland's involvement in that was a part of that. But still, against RB Leipzig, that was the same Haaland performance we saw against Wolves and we saw against Newcastle. But we won 3-1. And I think the other players stepped up to the plate, namely Alvarez and Doku, who came off the bench to win us the game. But still, you're hoping that Haaland, if he's not going to score a goal, he's going to occupy Gabriel and Silva, physically occupy them and mentally occupy them, to the point where they neglect to mark whoever it may be, Alvarez, Foden, anyone, really. If someone's free, make sure you find them. That's the thing. If Haaland is double-teamed or treble-teamed by the opposition, you've got to go out of your way to find that free player, because it's going to draw them out of position, stretch their formation. You don't like it one bit, says Jaden. What are you thinking, mate? What's wrong with what you're seeing so far? I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary from City so far. Kyle Walker bringing it down the right-hand side, found by Alvarez. Walker whipped in, straight into Raya's hands. Walker's doing that. I think he indicated to Haaland, get the near post. I think people forget how Haaland's ankles are made of glass. How often he was injured at Dortmund is crazy. I don't think he's been injured once, has he? Not at City. I don't think he has, mate. I don't think he has. Arsenal playing it a bit risky. Got away with that. Good bit of play, in fairness to them. Gabriel, back to Raya. Oh, Alvarez, he's in! Oh! He blocked the goal. He blocked Raya's kick out, and I thought it was in. It hit the side net, and he almost got too much of a block on it. If he gets less of a block, because he goes out and hits the side netting. Raya, kicking the ball out, almost, if he's in front of goal, he's got away with this. Oh, that's so close. So lucky that is. He basically received the ball on the byline in the 6-yard box, and he tried to kick it. Alvarez is just closing him down, blocks the goal kick. The kick out from Raya, sorry, it wasn't a goal kick, blocks the kick. But he got such a good block on it that it goes straight out rather than at an angle, because if he got a bit of an angle on it, it'd go straight into the open net that Raya had left open. But he almost did too well, Alvarez, and it goes out for a goal kick instead. Oh, he got away with that one. Should be 2-0. Now, that's two big chances, two biggest chances of the game so far. Ake should have absolutely made it 1-0. And that was just luck from Arsenal's point of view. Just unlucky. Come on, Jaden. We're not playing that defensive, mate. I don't think we are at all. I think it's... One, you need to be a bit respectful of Arsenal, because I know we like to demean them. But really, they are a genuine threat. There's a reason they finished second last season, and the reason they're challenging us this year. I think they're going to go tit for tat, and we have to respect that and expect some attacks from Arsenal. So we are going to have to defend at some point. It's not going to be total domination for 90 minutes against Arsenal. Even with a Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri, it was never going to be 90 minutes of domination from City. Never. But still, I don't think that's reason to panic just yet, mate. But I feel your nerves. I can sense your nerves. I'm with you, mate. I'm nervous. I'm nervous myself. Less so because of the stage of the season. The reason I'm not as nervous as I would be if this was after Christmas is because there's so many games left to go. This is game number 8. You know, game number 8. There's 30 games to go. You know, so there's 90 points to play for after this game. My prediction for the score was 2-2 before the game, and I haven't really revised that. And I'm actually going to stick with that, to be honest. I'm going to stick with it. It's not exactly... I was just telling Jaden to get positive, but there's me giving 2-2 as a score. It's not that negative. I just think it's... When I saw Saka and Martinelli not playing, I felt like, oh, we can do this now. If I had to pick... Diaz overhitting it, trickling out for a goal kick. I'm starting to see a 2-1, 3-1 City win when Saka and Martinelli were not playing. But in my head, I was like, he's playing games, Mikel Arteta. I felt like Saka could still play. And the fact that he isn't is definitely giving me a big boost of confidence. And if we go 1-0 up, I think Arsenal could be in trouble. I just feel like we're going to go 1-0 down against the run of play here. Because we've been dominating, not dominating, but we've had the better of the chances. One clear-cut chance that should be 1-0. Alvarez unlucky not to make it another goal, which could have been 2-0 if your luck's on your side. And Haaland's brought it down. Back to Bernardo Silva. City trying to knock it about. Raya's been trying to play the long ball over the top. Foden's in. Couldn't bring it down. Kyle Walker with a lovely little ball over Foden. Just over hits it. Foden couldn't bring it down because it was just a yard or two over hit from Kyle Walker. But the effort was nice. Odegaard asking for a free kick. City have intercepted. Declan Rice read that ball from Gabriel really well. Tries to send off Nketiah, but overhit. Sloppy from Arsenal and sloppy from City. From Gabriel and Declan Rice, who did really well to intercept Gvardiol's pass, but then he gives it away himself. Kovacic receiving the ball straight from Ederson. Nketiah closing Ederson down. Out to Nathan Ake down the left-back position. Tucks it into Foden. Kovacic with the man on his back. Gets lucky. Got tackled, but it lands to Foden. Kovacic. Foden. Looking sharp, Foden. Looking really sharp. Rico Lewis. Out to Kyle Walker. Do you think Haaland will score of the way he's playing, says Martin? The way he's playing has nothing to do whether Haaland will score, to be honest. It very rarely does. He often doesn't play that well as a footballer in terms of passing and contribution to the team from a control perspective, passing accuracy, touches, number of touches he gets. But more often than not, he does score. So I don't think it has that much of a reflection of how he's playing. Gvardiol's in here with all the space in the world. Terrible from Arsenal. Gvardiol's in. Poor cross from Gabriel. Needs to do better. He's got another chance. Fires it all the way across to Ruben Diaz. Arsenal fans, you can hear him in my ear, getting a bit rowdy, getting a bit unsettled with how the game's panning out so far. Because City... Oh, Bernardo Silva's looking dodgy. Leaps in. Wins the ball, does he? No, he doesn't. Martin Oliver is going to book him. Bernardo Silva getting a booking for that. That's not a yellow. It all came from Gvardiol, that, to be honest. If Gvardiol has been given this role, he needs to be more effective. Because, and the same goes for Kyle Walker. Both of them have come down the wide channels, offering an option to cross it. And who feels good about Gvardiol or Walker crossing the ball? You know, how many of those crosses are going to find the blue shirt? That's not their game, but it's the game that they've been asked to play today. And I don't feel that good about that, to be honest. I know Gvardiol's a fantastic player, but crossing of the ball, really? Is that what we're relying on him today? Kyle Walker, same again. Ooh, Kovacic won it on Declan Rice. Space in. Bernardo Silva pressing him down. He gives it to Alvarez. Across. Oh, it's blocked. Alvarez trying to cross the ball to Haaland. Sloppy from Arsenal once again. Alvarez trying to win the ball. Rico Lewis has got under it, and Raya gets under it and catches the ball. Getting away with it, Arsenal here. Really sloppy. Two teams being a little bit sloppy here. Definitely Arsenal more so than City. City have been sloppy in the final third. Arsenal have been sloppy in their first third, which is the last place you want to be sloppy. No, our sloppy play, I don't mind if we're giving it away in outside their area. It's not a bad place to give it away. I'd rather we didn't, but it's not the worst place in the world. At least you're in the right part of the pitch from an attacking point of view. But Arsenal keep giving it away here. We're hunting, says Section 20. We are, mate. We're doing well. And we're closing down their press really well. They're struggling to get out from the back. Where's Jeff? He's further up the chat. He's predicted Kyle Walker first goal, if you're wondering. That's why they're here, mate. Jeff, no one's here for me. They're here for you, Jeff. They're waiting for your prediction, mate. And if you've missed it, Jeff's called it. Kyle Walker. Lewis is a menace up top. I agree, Ryan. I think he's not up top, is he? He's more of a number 8 today. But still. "25 minutes in, we should be 1-0 up here." You just feel like... I remember... Oh, here they come as well. Odegaard bringing it forward. Gabriel Jesus with lots of space. Gvardiol to beat. Overlap from Ben White. Knocks it back to Odegaard. Gabriel Jesus. Jorginho. Dinks it. Push. Push. Michael Oliver. Well done, Michael Oliver. Push on Foden. Foden was about to nod it clear. A little dink into the right channel for Gabriel Jesus to chase. Foden was marking Gabriel Jesus really well. Foden was about to nod it clear. Gabriel Jesus just gives him a quick shove in the back. Michael Oliver sees it and gives it. Guys, if you could drop a like on the stream, if you're new, it would be a really big help for the channel. I really would appreciate it. Free kick. Edison, long ball. All the way to Kyle Walker on the wing. Nods it beautifully. Really good header. To Alvarez. Back to Ruben Diaz, who whiffs it out for a throw-in. Underhit it. There's a bobbling ball to him, but he just swung at it and hoped for the best. And the best was not there. Declan Rice pushing forward. Oh, he's misread it, Ruben Diaz. Nketiah's in. Declan Rice. Nketiah fires it just wide. Ruben Diaz, switch on, mate. That's 2 mistakes in about 30 seconds from Ruben Diaz. Diaz dropping really deep, first of all. Then he misses the ball. And this was all before he gives it out for a throw-in by not concentrating and striking the ball cleanly. Nketiah gets his tucks onto his right foot. Tries to hook it into the far corner. Went well wide in the end, thankfully. But Diaz needs to switch on there. A little bit sloppy from Ruben Diaz. Not the place to be doing it. Rico Lewis trying to bring it under control. Does foul, referee. Does really well, Rico Lewis. Fantastic midfield play from Rico Lewis. Because that was a horrible ball to him. One of those balls where you've got to slow down, bring it down with your chest. Surrounded by Arsenal players. He brings it down with his chest, kills the ball, knocks it ahead of him, draws in the foul and wins the foul because he was surrounded by Arsenal players. Give it away there legally, and Arsenal were in business there. Really good play. Would I start a Kanji? Odegaard giving it one of them to the Arsenal fans, asking for the Arsenal fans to start making some positive noise, because so far it's been mostly negative noise from the Arsenal fans. A little bit unrest, and now they've started to sing a song because Odegaard told them to. Kovacic giving it away. Poor touch from Gvardiol and Kovacic, the two Croatians linking up poorly there. Knocked out to Zinchenko's got loads of space. Loads of space. Whips it in. Ruben Diaz with a big header. Not cleared. Ben White, edge of the area. Gabriel Jesus down the right-hand side. Back to Jorginho. City getting some good shape now all of a sudden. But once it goes wide, there's a lot of space for Arsenal. And that's because Kyle Walker and Gvardiol are so advanced up the pitch. City forcing them back into their own half, though. Kovacic winning. Oh, he's clattered him. Kovacic is getting a yellow card here. Just clattered Odegaard. That's 3 yellow cards in 28 minutes. Unneeded that really. Didn't need to do that. It's flown in there. Ooh. That's a yellow card. Definite yellow card. He's gone in, studs up, clipped with his ankle. Ooh, it's not great, you know. I don't think that's a red. It's not a red, but it's not a good one. VAR's checking it. Could do without a stupid moment like that, please. Piss off. There's no way that this is a red, really. VAR are looking at this. Oh, it's not a good one. That angle there's not a good one. This is gonna be a red. There's no way. It's right on the ankle. Where else can you kick? He's gonna give this as a red. I can see this being a red now. Fuck off, man. This is what I didn't want. A stupid refereeing decision, dubious refereeing decision. So just gift them the advantage like this. Just gift Arsenal the advantage. No way. No way. Yellow card confirmed. No red card. No red card. Carry on. Get on with the fucking game. Fuck's sake. Right, Kovacic. Yeah, there you go. Look, it zooms into Kovacic. Big deep breath. You fucking idiot, Kovacic. Why are you flying in with your studs there? You were never going to win that ball. Why give the option to even go to VAR with a decision like that? Now, Jorginho's on a yellow card and Kovacic is on a yellow card. So you're hoping, Kovacic, switch on, mate. Because you can't be going in like that anymore. Can't be. That ruins the game as well. Because 10 men against Arsenal, it's game over, isn't it, really? Certainly from an entertaining factor, from a neutral perspective, it'll all be Arsenal. We'll have to try and hope for something. Gabriel winning the header from the free kick. Kovacic getting involved immediately after his little scare there. Bernardo Silva giving it away. Gabriel Jesus on Gabriel. Big tackle from Gabriel. Get up, says the linesman. Love it. He's just smashed his rib. What? Michael Oliver's giving it instead. The linesman's about a yard away. Gabriel Jesus has hurt himself on the ball. He landed on the ball on his ribs. It wasn't Gabriel. I should make a real life video. This is real life, mate. I'm real. I'm real, mate. For fuck's sake, what with these daft challenges, says Darren. Jesus lands on the ball, says Jan. He does, yeah, landed on the ball. It was barely it wasn't Gabriel, but free kick to Arsenal in a very dangerous position of the pitch. Trossard and Odegaard stand above it. Oh, double dummy. Sends City into an offside position. Ederson gets under it. He's dropped it. Oh, he picks it back up. Ooh. Got a bit panicky there, didn't I? See the goalkeeper fumble it, but luckily he dropped it right beneath his feet and picked it back up again. But double dummy there from Odegaard and Trossard. You can see what they're trying to do there. Make a City player drop deep and play everyone onside. Ederson out to Nathan Ake down this left-hand side. Into Foden, who's brought down. Arsenal are starting to... I don't know what to suggest here. They're planting something on the game. They're impressing the games to a certain degree. They're not controlling it. It's become more of an even game in the last 10 minutes. I think City were just on top. Certainly in that first 20 minutes, I felt much more comfortable. Right now, a lot of the players been playing in our half, thrown into their half for Haaland to try and bring it forward. He does just that, tucks it into Bernardo Silva. The thing is, when we come forward this space, when they come forward this space, so it's who's better in the spaces, I'd say we are. Into Foden. Oh, cleared. Kyle Walker trying to knock it, not into Foden, sorry, it was into Alvarez. Ruben Diaz, slow on the ball there, Ruben. Nketiah closes him down and wins the City throw-in, thankfully, but Ruben Diaz thinking he had more time than he had there. Do not like this. And a poo emoji from Darren. That's some big words there, Darren. Need to sharpen up. We're looking a bit shaky, says Section 20. I think we're being a bit nervous. I'm not feeling as nervous as you guys are. I mean, maybe it's the beer. Maybe it's the beer that I'm drinking. Because I don't feel as panicked as you guys do. But I understand it. I understand why you're feeling like this. But City with the ball so far. Arsenal not really pressing, to be honest. And our back three of Ruben Diaz, Ake and Bernardo Silva have a lot of the ball so far. That's right, I said Bernardo Silva, our back three, because he is the closest player to Ederson so far. Long ball over the top to Haaland. If he brings this under, he does really well. Brings Alvarez into play with space to shoot. Alvarez over the bar. Declan Rice, he could probably hear Declan Rice's footsteps galloping behind him as he's about to take a shot away. Maybe did that put him off, but a long ball from Ederson is all it took, and City were in. Haaland does well to bring it down with his left foot, knocks it to into Alvarez's path with his right foot. Alvarez takes a shot, touch into his path, looks to get a shot away, and Declan Rice was just on his shoulder, but still, got to keep that down there. Fires it over the bar. Hey, try using Poppins as your font. The one you're using is a bit clunky. What, me? The one I'm using. If you know your fonts, what font am I using? It's ooh, Raya looking a bit. Kovacic, what you doing, you fool? You fucking idiot. You fucking idiot, Kovacic. He's not going to give a yellow. Thankfully, Michael Oliver did that. What a joke, man. Why is he lunging in like that, Kovacic? Switch on, man. What are you thinking, slide tackling like that? It's a yellow card. I'm sorry. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I don't care what you say. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm screaming for that. And I'm screaming for it from the top of the rooftops. That's a second yellow card. And Michael Oliver's done him a favour there. He's done him a favour there. What's he thinking, Kovacic, there? What is he thinking? I don't think Kovacic has been that bad on the ball. He's been okay, but what are you thinking, mate? You've just been booked. He doesn't strike me as the idiotic type either. He seems like a clever player. Foden trying to be clever. Oh, he's taken one to the face, Phil Foden, from Ben White. Foden's rolling around holding his face here. We're going to look at VAR for this. Ben White and Foden, who've got a bit of history, haven't they? Do you remember at the end of the game at the Emirates, Ben White walking over to Phil Foden like the school bully, looking for the smallest player on the pitch? Big, hard Ben White. Just got off the sunbeds, Ben White. Just like giving it large. Coming over to Phil Foden and kicking off. And Haaland comes over and just fuck off, smashes him, boshes him out of the way. You're not bullying my little brother, Phil Foden. Sit down, Ben White. But anyway, corner to Arsenal. I'm fuming at Kovacic. I really am. Odegaard, corner, whipped in, near post. Cleared by Gabriel. Not really. Foden gets underneath it. Still not cleared. Oh, it is more or less now. Back with Jorginho. City camped on the edge of our own box here. Alvarez nods it down. Back to Odegaard, though. Still not away. All Arsenal so far. Kov is looking for a red. Should bench him, says Class. Good to see you, Class. JRX, good to see you. Greg, also good to see you. Say hello to Phillips. Well, Phillips would be a big shout. Big shout for this game, Greg. I like Phillips, and I'm certainly not in the camp of he's shit, he must be sold. I think we might need him at some point. I still think this occasion might be too much for him. I still think it might be too much. Kovacic, mate, what are you doing? Showing the replay again. The cameras and the footage I'm watching here are indicating that should be a second yellow card, and I'm hard pressed to disagree with them. Really. Put it this way, it would be well, the first one was a definite yellow. Definite yellow. I mean, you're almost booking for stupidity, don't you? Just for being an idiot and doing it again. Long ball over the top, and Gabriel Jesus is in. Being forced down to the corner flag by Gabriel. Don't let him into the area. Oh, Kovacic has slipped. It's landed to Jorginho, edge of the area. Trossard. Right. Get some shape now. We're giving it away again. Haaland's giving it away. Well, we're falling apart here. We are falling apart here. Arsenal are showing a big moment of possession. Lots of strength. Gvardiol stepping forward, wins the tackle against Ben White, knocks it out for a throw-in in the corner flag to Arsenal in the City half. As those incredibly cringe-worthy black shirts of Arsenal fans who want to be ultras, the most sad act, pathetic, cringe-worthy group of individuals you'll ever see in your life, all congregated behind the goal like big hard men that they are. But Gabriel Jesus has found his fight from a throw-in as well, edge of the area, got to be first time. Zinchenko blocked, Still Zinchenko fires in another block. Rico Lewis bringing it away. Keep the ball. Slow it down. No. Haaland's just been brought down. Asking the City team to slow it down. I think he's right. We need half-time more than Arsenal at this moment, says Jan. I think you're right, Jan. I think Kovacic has been told to be more aggressive, but he's losing his head a bit, says Jazziest Spices. I like your name, Jazziest Spices. Jazzy. I think you might be right, though. He needs to cool it, you know. I mean, surely he doesn't need to be told or substituted. It's like, come on, have you got a brain in there? You've got a brain. You know you're on a yellow card. Gabriel Jesus knocks it into Odegaard. Kovacic, turn! Oh, lovely from Gabriel. Knocks it between the legs of Odegaard. Really dodgy ball from Foden, but Rico Lewis makes it look like a good one. Well done, Rico Lewis. Here comes City. 3-on-3. Alvarez down the right-hand side. With space, Kyle Walker for the Oblak. Alvarez looking slow. Into the ball. Oh, it's a great bit of defending by Gabriel with an overhead kick clearance. Really good bit of football from both sides there. Counter-attack from City. You expect a little bit of a better ball. Kyle Walker getting involved. Jorginho getting caught on the ball. And Zinchenko completes the clearance. City's chance now to mount an attack, you think, because it's been all Arsenal for the last 10 minutes. What has Pep done to this team, says Shanti. Max, good to see you. You're right. Composure is the name of the game here. It really is. It's a psychological battle. I don't think tactics are going to be... Tactics are obviously a part of this game. But I think the psychological aspect of this game supersedes the tactics as a level of importance. What's most important in this game? I think the psychological aspect of this game, because it's Arsenal. You know, they are very emotional. Foden knocking it into a channel for Gabriel. First time cross. Dangerous one. Raya! Haaland! Oh! Raya came in, missed it. Haaland was... If he got a touch onto this, Raya, because Haaland was ducking his head, about to look like he was about to head it into an empty net, of which Raya left it empty behind him. But does Raya get... Oh, it looks like Raya gets a little clip on it and just knocks it out of the path. Does he get a touch on that, Raya? No, I don't think he does. Haaland just misses it. I don't think anyone got a touch on that. I think Haaland was a bit unlucky. Haaland's looked all right, you know, so far. And he's got space to work with. More than he's ever had in the last 3 games. A lot of space. And it's showing. His game looks better. He's got space. Foden, corner ball to City. Alvarez off from the short one. But Foden whips it in instead. Cleared by Saliba. Gabriel trying a weird little pass. Doesn't come off. Jorginho intercepts. Gabriel with no one to give it to. Looking panicked. Knocks it back to Ederson. Safe. I'm fine with that. If you're looking short of ideas, knock it back to Ederson. Don't give it away. It's better doing that than giving it away. Gabriel. Back to Ake. Long ball over the top to Kovacic, who's hopefully chasing it. Get back in your shape, Kovacic. Darren Dalby started to throw up. Where do I watch City live? What do you mean, Martin? I'm watching it live right now. I'm watching on Sky, if you're wondering, in the UK. John with the 2, thank you very much. We actually suck. City have lost. John, mate, I don't think we suck. Cheers for the 2, mate. Really appreciate the super chat. Very good of you. But I have to disagree, mate. I think suck is a harsh word to be using. Ederson trying a bit of fancy footwork. Comes off. Well, not really that fancy. He just keeps the ball. Foden nearly got caught on the ball. We're playing some risky passes here, and they're coming off. It's working, but it's eye of the needle stuff so far. Rodri is back for the derby, says Skylar. Yeah, mate, Rodri coming back's massive. And for Brighton. That's the next game after the international break. Brighton, who I'm not looking forward to playing, to be honest with you. I would have done prior to their draw against Liverpool, because they were looking dodgy, Brighton, weren't they? 6-1 against Villa. And then 2-0 down to Marseille in the week in the Europa League. But they turned it round, got it back to 2-2 against Marseille, and they drew 2-2 to Liverpool today, taking a point, 2 points off our, I think, our most likely title challengers, Liverpool. I still think Arsenal are going to be in it, but I think Liverpool over the course of the season will be our biggest threat. It's just because of Klopp. They've got the know-how, the experience. They've done it before. You talk about psychology, and if you pick who's got the most favourable psychology and who's the most positive thinking, who's the most reassured in their way of thinking between Arsenal and Liverpool, you think Liverpool all day long, don't you? I think Klopp over-exaggerates the mentality monsters, because I think that they have shown weaknesses, plenty of it. There's only one mentality monster in this league, and it's Manchester City, because we have done it time and time and again. Doing it one season's all good and well, but we do it year after year, you know, in terms of being positive. And really, in times when you think there's no need to be positive, there's no reason to be positive. We've hit a shit form, we're 2-0 down, whatever it may be, but they do not give up, City. Kovacic went flying in then, on his feet, thankfully, but here come Arsenal. Jesus bringing it forward with a bit of space as well. City back in shape. Fast approaching half-time. Kovacic is not good enough for us. That challenge has made John angry. Thanks again for the super chat, John. Really do appreciate you. Thank you very much. Very good of you. Kovacic, I think we need to give him a bit more time. He's only just started, but that challenge was unacceptable, mate. Yeah. The second one. The first one, okay, rush of blood. I get it. Overthought the tackle that you could win it. Not great. The second one's just sheer stupidity, and he got away with it. Trossard down the left-hand side into Declan Rice, who's way up the pitch, doing that number 8 role. Trossard into Nketiah. Bernardo Silva's on his back. Sort of tackles him. Still not cleared, though. Jorginho. Ben White. I take 0-0 at half-time, to be honest. This needs a rethink. Both sides need half-time, I think, because I think this is open for both teams. What about the Rags, says Darren. Mate, they're absolutely nowhere near a title challenge. Even though they came back. Anyway, hold on a minute. Odegaard coming in. And Nketiah is offside. He's offside. Get your flag up, referee. Well done. I could see that from here. United are just... I'm glad... You know what? I know you might not like it, but think long term. There was a small part of me that was glad they turned it round against Brentford, because all that does is delay the inevitable. The inevitable being Erik ten Hag is going to get sacked at some point, probably maybe this season, maybe next season, I don't know. But I just feel like they continuously have ups and downs with Erik ten Hag, who I think is not entirely to blame for United's failures. I think their club is just in a complete mess right now. And I think if you put Pep Guardiola in United's team, he'd do better. Definitely do better than Erik ten Hag is doing, but there's no guarantee he would do. Certainly not go and win the treble. You know, he's got the Glazers behind him and this structure that's just all over the place. So Pep would struggle to make that United team do as well as. I mean, there's only Pep that would genuinely put them in a title challenge. But them winning yesterday delays it and papers over the cracks of United's problems. And there will come a day where United realise how bad they are, and the club maybe sells to Qatari ownership model, and then all of a sudden they have a lot of money and they have a different model, and there still could be a threat potentially. But right now they're a complete mess, and long may that continue. And winning games like yesterday sort of keeps it going, because you know next week they'll be shit again. So, do I like Newcastle? They're all right. Yeah, I've... I think we're going to... in a year's time, I don't think I will like Newcastle. Maybe 2 years' time, because I think they're going to be the long-term challengers for City over the course of the next 5-10 years, potentially, because of the money that they've got. The way Newcastle's ran as a club is really good. But half-time's approaching here. I think we're about to see the half-time whistle. Or are we? It's about 10 seconds left. 20 seconds left. Right, half-time. Kovacic zoomed straight in to Kovacic's face, and understandably so, because, I mean, he's lucky to be on the pitch. Odegaard's gone straight to the referee, asking the question, why are we playing against 11 men? We should be playing against 10 men. And I'm inclined to agree with him. Michael Oliver's explaining why. I would like to know why that's not a second yellow card. I'm glad it's not. Don't get me wrong. I sound like I want him to get sent off, but absolutely not. Of course not. But what's he thinking? Kovacic, what is he thinking really there? But, yeah, I take 0-0 at this stage. I think the second half is going to show differences, I think, in the way the two teams have set up. Just trying to sort the clock out there with me 1 second. Sorry. Hang on a second. I also need a pee, so you're going to have to bear with me, lads and lasses. Do I use one football? Not really. I used to use it a fair bit. Not anymore, no. Chelsea with a sponsor is dangerous. Is that like they're sponsored now? They've suddenly like, oh, we better play. We're getting paid now. We better play some good football. Tishiashi, Nunes, Phillips for Kovacic. Maybe. I mean, you've got to get in the ear of Kovacic at half-time as Pep, haven't you? You've got to. And say, cool your head, mate. Cool your jets, mate. You can't be flying in to tackles like that. You really can't be flying into tackles like that. Darren, don't feel they have made anything really decent, but feel... You're right. But feel it's here for us to take if we sort out this rash football. I agree, Darren. I don't think there's anything to worry about at the other end so far. It's more like potential threats, isn't it? They've not really done anything that's like, oh, no, they're getting chance after chance after chance. I mean, what's Edison done? Really? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Whereas the other end of the pitch, we've offered more of a threat. We should have been 2-0 up within 10 minutes, really. That chance for Ake, definitely. And what was the second chance? There was luck, wasn't it? Alvarez closing down Raya. That was just unlucky. It's the knowing that we're better than this. Yeah, possibly. City should be 2-0 up, says Eric. You still here, Eric? I want 11 versus 11, so don't want a red, but that second should have been a red card now. Yeah, I agree, mate. It's done, though. So move on and keep at it. First fun for first 45 minutes, yeah. Right, Blues, I'll be as quick as I can, just going for a quick pee. Don't go anywhere. Cheers for waiting if you did. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. You got the Fodens again, Johnny. What do you mean? Oh, the shits. Yeah. Mate, it's beer, man. I've got the bladder of a 5-year-old. To be honest, you're lucky I haven't gone for a pee every half-time. But yeah, I'm drinking beer today, so there's absolutely no chance I was going to be able to make it through a stream without going to the toilet. But I saw my little 6-month-year-old, 5-month-old baby girl while I was there, who was laughing. So that puts it in perspective, doesn't it? You know, 0-0 to Arsenal means nothing in comparison to that. But really, now I'm sat back here, I'm feeling a bit nervous about that second half because I don't think tactics need to be changed yet. I think instructions need to be given to certain players. I think, obviously, Kovacic is the first one. You say, just go out and don't be sliding in for any stupid tackles like that again, first. Second of all, the only part of the game I'm concerned about is what Bernardo Silva's doing. Because we're able to play out from the back okay when we have the ball. It's not, I mean, he's almost been a defender at times. There's been times when Nketiah's received the ball with his back to goal, and the first player to jump on his back isn't Ruben Diaz, it isn't Nathan Ake, it's Bernardo Silva, which is good. So he's offering a defensive option, which is crazy to think that who would have put Bernardo Silva as an advancing centre-back against Arsenal. It's crazy, it really is. But that's Pep, you know. The width is the problem. When we go the other way, Kyle Walker and Gvardiol have had about 3 or 4 opportunities to cross the ball each. They've not been terrible crosses, but they've not been great either. You know, they've been overhit and a little bit underhit. And they're not the. If you could pick any players from our squad, I'd be wanting Alvarez to cross it. I'd be wanting Foden to cross it. I'd be wanting Bernardo Silva to cross it. Even Kovacic or Nunes. I would never pick Gabriel or Walker to be our main options for crossing the ball into Erling Haaland. But that's what we're dealing with today. But yeah, what would you do in the chat? Let me know what you would do in terms of if you would do anything. Would you change attitudes? Would you just tell Kovacic to calm down and carry on as you are and go out and control the game a little bit better, be a little bit sure with your passes? Or is there something tactically that you would do? Because I think Arsenal are very much in this game. Would they be... Is this his answer to no Rodri? Is this the answer to no Rodri, Bernardo Silva, playing in that role? It must be. It has to be. And it's still 0-0, so we can't say it's failed. But I don't know. Josko is our best player, says Skylar. He's been playing really well. He has played defensively as well. Gabriel Jesus has come down that right-hand side quite a bit, and he's dealt with him really well, Gavardiol. Good to see you, Rendrex. And Gurav up there. I've always had doubts about things that Kovacic offers. I'm starting to think I'm right now. He can dribble well, but zero creativity, no long passes, goals and assists in him. We do need to give him a bit more time than we're giving him right now. We certainly can't be writing him off for he should have got a red card. We shouldn't therefore say, nah, that's it, that was shit. Because he was playing well before the Wolves game. He was playing really well. It was just a case of, it's not his job, is it, to get goals and assists? But I understand what you mean. The last couple of games, he has looked a bit out of his depth, a little bit, but not anything to get panicky about. Darren contradicting you as well there, saying, I've loved Cover this season, but I've never seen him this reckless before. Hope it's a one-off. Yeah, I thought against Wolves he wasn't great either. But this is a different type of performance, isn't it? It's more of a rash, isn't it? Just like a think about it, mate. Oh yeah, of course. We've got Jeremy Doku on the bench. Doesn't that excite you? I mean, what? Am I mental to suggest? Tell me if I'm mental to suggest Jeremy Doku on for Kyle Walker and keep the system as it is. Is that mental? It's a bit mental. I'm feeling that now I've said it, I sound mental. But if Kyle Walker, the job that Kyle Walker's doing is very little defensively. He's going forward more often than not. If that's the case, we know Doku is tough. He can tackle. Will he get back? Because I know Pep will tell him to get back because he has to. But I've always seen Doku as an option. I think his best position is obviously in either wing, playing as an out-and-out winger, not as a wing-back or a full-back. But he can definitely play certainly in a wing-back role. I think he could do that role, Doku, and I think he can do it. I'm pretty sure he has done it for Rennes when he played there. But no more beer for you, says Craig. Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, Doku on for Kyle Walker. It's not that bad a shout. I don't think it's that bad. It would be a typical Pep move, though, wouldn't it? Kyle Walker on there, Issa backing me up. So I'm not the only idiot. Me and Issa, the two idiots amongst this chat today. And Issa's about to say, speak for yourself, yeah. But Darren, oh, interesting. Please get Kovacic off. They'll be hounding the ref all game to send him off for any little challenge. Bring Nunes on, put Doku, Grealish out wide, Foden in the middle, says Hugh. That's reverting to the RB Leipzig. I kind of wanted to see that RB Leipzig formation because it felt like control, didn't it? Obviously Arsenal and RB Leipzig are two very different teams. You have to expect Arsenal are going to have some part of the game where they dictate the play. They did in that first half, plenty of it as well, to be honest. What would you say that half was? I'd say it was 50-50. In terms of chance creation, City probably come out on top. But in terms of the control and the momentum of the game, I don't know what the actual stats are. I'll try and get them up for you now, but it felt like a 50-50 game in the control aspect, if that makes sense. But it's hard to say what we should actually do to change anything and swing the game in our favour. Just trying to get the... So 55% possession for City, which is probably the lowest you'll see from City in the Premier League this season in a half. Maybe Liverpool could offer that type of possession, but that's as even as it gets. 45 to 55. That's what I'm talking about in terms of control. Passes, we've had 276 to their 226. Accuracy, 87 to their 86. They've had 5 shots, 0 on target. We've had 3 shots, 1 on target. But those 3 shots were arguably... one of them wasn't even a shot. Alvarez was blocking Raya's kick, wasn't he? But arguably our chances were more clear-cut. So I think I've described the game reasonably well there, going off the stats prior to seeing those stats. But we need a Doku gritty, says Danny W. I'd love that, mate. I'd love that. Would you take a draw at this point? Would you take a draw? I still kind of would. I think I would. That puts us back top, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I'm sure it does. Going in top to the second international game week, I think that puts us back top, doesn't it? On goal difference. Yes, it does. Goal difference. So I take that. I think it's not a bad result. We're out of form. In terms, the Newcastle Wolves game, namely. We're out of players when it comes to our best players, Rodri and De Bruyne, of course. The game is very even. A draw is a fair reflection of the game so far. It all depends. Circumstances change those things. Those hypothetical scenarios get changed. If we have a penalty and we miss it, we'll come away thinking we should have won that game. If Kovacic should have been sent off and the game stays 0-0, you probably take the draw, don't you? Jeff with the 2. Thank you very much, Jeff. Really appreciate that. Is there any player more unlikable than Bruno F? There are very few. Jesse Lingard's up there for me. I actually seen him in a few interviews lately, and I thought Jesse Lingard is actually not as bad as first vid, but on the pitch, it's just the dancing. Henderson, couldn't stand Henderson. Thank God he's gone. Don't have to see him anymore. Robertson of Liverpool. Gabriel Jesus gets on my tits a little bit, and I can see why. I had plenty of mates, United fans of my friends of mine. They hated him. For some reason, they hated him. I can see why a little bit. He's just a little bit whingy, isn't he? He looks like his face looks permanently upset, doesn't he? He looks permanently like that, doesn't he? But I can see why. Yeah, Jesus might cry if he gets subbed today, maybe. No draws today, only wins. Section 20 with the uber positive vibes. Eric Welch, can we all agree someone needs to put Spurs in their place? After some VAR calls and then no other real competition, does everyone dislike Spurs as much as I do? I hope so. Probably not as much as you do. But I did go through a spell of really not enjoying Tottenham Hotspur. Back in the day, City fans pretty much everyone will remember going for the Champions League spots when we first came into money, Mancini. And there was nothing more poetic than Peter Crouch scoring for Spurs to send them into the Champions League. And who remembers, was it Bentley, pouring that big box of water over Harry Redknapp, the Spurs manager, when they got into the Champions League. And then the next year, it was Spurs versus City. Whoever wins goes into the Champions League. Somehow that game replicated itself, and we had a duplicate game of the previous season. But Peter Crouch scores again, but an own goal this time for Manchester City, sending Manchester City into the Champions League. Thank you, Peter Crouch. No bucket over the head for Harry Redknapp this time. I remember that. That was enjoyable, and that built a bit of hatred between Spurs. And then, of course, there's the Champions League knockout, where we all went mental, didn't we? Raheem Sterling scoring in the 96th minute, and it was ruled out for VAR with I think it was Gabriel Jesus handball, wasn't it? That was one of the most deflating moments in Champions League ever, really, in City's Champions League history. Obviously, the Real Madrid comeback and the Chelsea Cup final, that beats it. But that wasn't far behind. Super Jack is coming on, apparently, according to Skylar. We'll have to wait and see. Never liked Ben White. Spent too long on the sunbeds. I only wind him up talking about how he looks, but it's not even that. It's just he seems like a bit of a twat. Oh. Cover's still on. Yeah, you're right. Section 20, he walked onto the pitch. No subs. Wow. I'm very uncomfortable with Raya in goal, to be honest. He doesn't fill me with confidence. I can see why, to be honest, Derek. The whole City fans will be very familiar with David Raya coming in and Ramsdale going to the bench Because to me, that just reminds me of Joe Hart and the treatment. I say treatment. I don't think he was treated badly. I think he was treated fairly. Martinelli's coming on. Martinelli's coming on for Arsenal. Who for? Trossard. Like for like, really. This could bode either way, really. I think Trossard's done well against us historically. But yeah, no, David Raya is coming in as a ball-playing goalkeeper. And I remember most City fans were hands in air, like, what are they doing? What's Pep doing? Joe Hart, he's a fucking legend. What are you selling? What are you getting rid of Joe Hart? What are you benching Joe Hart for? Who do you think you are, Pep? Coming into this City side and doing that. Imagine Joe Hart in this side now. You'd be shitting yourself, wouldn't you? He absolutely knew what he was doing, Pep Guardiola. Kickoff is about to start and it's off. That was quick. But yeah, I mean, Pep knew what he was doing. He wanted a goalkeeper that could play with his feet. And Joe Hart was not that man, unfortunately, as sad as it seems. And I think it killed his career. His confidence was shot. He went from club to club after that, Joe Hart, and never succeeded in any of the clubs he went to. Long ball down the line from Kyle Walker to Alvarez. Gabriel dealing with it, just about. David Raya being closed down by Alvarez again. Oh, he nearly did it again. This time Raya gets it away, but only just. Gvardiol showing some strength against Jesus. Harty was a tough loss, but he was defo not a Pep style player. No, he wasn't, mate. It was a tough pill to swallow, but the thing with Joe Hart leaving was Claudio Bravo came in. That was why people were like, you've brought a goalkeeper in who's great with his feet, but he can't stop anything. You literally pass it towards his goal and it's a goal. It's Arsenal bringing it forward. Bernardo Silva with a sloppy bit of play into the feet of Nketiah, edge of the area. Ake intercepts and clears it. Zinchenko. Oh, I'm feeling that. Martinelli with his first involvement of the game going against Kyle Walker. Not beating him yet, but Alvarez steps in, tries to help. Martinelli keeping the ball really well. Zinchenko. Martinelli. Whipped in, back post. Oh, it's over everybody, thankfully. Goal kick to City. Congrats on the 6K, by the way, mate. Thank you very much, Ryan. Really appreciate that, mate. I went to 6K and then I went down. I had a flood of like 5 or 6 people unsubscribing. I'm not going to be doing the FIFA videos anymore because they've proven to be incredibly unpopular, unfortunately. And I'm sorry for anyone who is a big FIFA fan. I've enjoyed doing them. It's just no one's tuning in, guys. So I can't. I mean, I'm not all about the clicks, but you know, I mean, I am running a YouTube. I want to be as clear and transparent with you guys as possible. And you have a say in what type of content gets made. Of course you do. But at the end of the day, if no one's watching, no one's watching. So sorry about that. But I'll come up with some other stuff for you. But Jesus down the right side. Gvardiol, another block from Gvardiol, brings it under control. Handball! Gvardiol's clearance was blocked by Jesus' right hand. Claudio let anything in. Claudio let anything in, bravo. Yeah, he really did. He absolutely did. It was so bad. He did do a good couple of penalty shootouts, though, didn't he? I'm sure he did one in the League Cup. I'm sure he did one away at Leicester that was really good. Gvardiol with a swing and a miss. Strike one for Gvardiol with that. He actually got a connection on it and he clipped it out for a throw-in right by the corner flag in the final third for Arsenal. Dangerous place for a throw-in. City need to sharpen up this second half. A couple of sloppy moments. Oh, read it. Oh, Edison comes out. I thought that was a communication moment there. Ake and Edison running towards each other. Luckily, I think Edison shouted the loudest and Ake got out of the way. And Edison picks it up. Ruben Diaz, who didn't have the greatest first halves, in truth. It wasn't bad. It was just a bit sloppy. Nathan Ake. Back to Edison. Ruben Diaz now from Edison's pass into Rico Lewis. Alvarez tries to flick it on. A Rico Lewis ball was a bit hopeful. Alvarez chasing back Declan Rice, who's bursting down the left wing into Nketiah, into the area. Don't foul him. Cross blocked. Corner ball to Arsenal. Do you wish we went and signed Declan Rice? There's still a part of me that thinks I wish we did a second bid for Declan Rice, you know, because I know people say it's corner ball. Hang on a minute. Martinelli. Inside. Under Edison. Over everybody. It's not away. Clear it. Clear. Odegaard over the bar. Edison coming out, punching and missing there. Edison's got to be stronger with his commanding his area a little bit there. He's looking at the referee asking for a foul, but really, Edison, mate, you've got to be careful there. If you're going to come out, make sure. Make sure. Ben White. No one on him. Edison. Bit floppy there. Floppy Edison there. Another ball given away. Declan Rice is in. Alvarez getting back. Martinelli down the left-hand side. We're in trouble. Edison. Boom. Good hands from Edison. Straight down the throat of Edison, who holds on to it, but that was a good shot. Going for the near post. Edison saw it coming. Sort it out, City. This has been really sloppy. About 4 or 5 times we've given it away. Getting a bit desperate as well. Ruben Diaz sliding in. It's all Arsenal again. So far, it's all Arsenal. Cortez, I think this is going to be a draw. I would take a draw now, mate. I would take a draw. The more this game pans out, like I was saying, circumstances kind of dictate hypothetical would you, won't you situations. It depends what happened in the game. But as of right now, yeah, I would take a draw. I would have taken a draw before the game. So the only reason I got excited was, 1, Saka's not fit. Martinelli's only just come on. And 2, Nathan Ake's chance at the beginning of the game and Alvarez's block. You think we should have been in 1-0 at that point. By that and at that stage, you're thinking there's no way you'd take a draw. You want the win. You're 1-0 up. Keep it simple. Foden brought down. Foul. I don't understand no subs. We have 2 yellows in midfield, says Sub 2. Good to see you, Sub 2, by the way. And appreciate you always popping up in the chat. I haven't even said hi to you, mate. Hello to you, Sub 2. Maybe Doku is going to change the game if he comes on, Cortez. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. Jeff, I think you lost subscribers because my predictions have been off lately. You're right, Jeff. It could be. You bastard, Jeff. I'm joking. But I don't know why people were unsubscribing because I was doing other videos. It was never going to be a... I'm not going to... That's it now. I'm a FIFA channel. I was never going to do that. I was just trying it out. Just a bit of a laugh. I'll do something else. I'm considering getting other people on the channel in terms of just as one-off, just for a bit of diversity, have a bit of a conversation rather than me looking straight down the lens all the time. Edison with the ball back at his feet. Gabriel Jesus tried a little fancy pass through. It was an interesting idea, but he was never on. Went straight through to Edison. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting a few individuals to speak to. Maybe opposition fans, maybe a few other City fans to talk to for future content. Make it... Ooh, Ake closed down by Jesus. Luckily, ends up back to Foden. Knocks it back to Gabriel in his path. Gabriel can bring it forward. Right through the middle comes Gabriel, but not strong enough there. Declan Rice and Ben White together hold him off. Haaland closed down Raya. Raya out to Gabriel. Turns inside to Zinchenko with space. Arsenal looking control. You know, that was the first little threat from City. Very easily dealt with, to be honest. Very easily dealt with. Jan, get Grealish on to win. Fouls up the pitch near their box. Excuse me. Section 20. I like your chilled stream. I can't be arsed with screaming and shouting types. I do scream and I do shout. You've just not heard that much of it yet. The season's only just begun. I will be screaming and shouting at some point. Probably. But I've put a limiter on the mic so it doesn't blow your eardrums off. Kyle Walker with the throw in. Mikel Arteta looks visibly unhappy at how long he was taking. All the way back to Bernardo Silva. Odegaard pressing Ederson, which is good news, because Ederson fires it past him into Gabriel, finding a bit of space. That's what we want. We want them to press us, really. Foden turning his man, getting caught on the ball there. Foden trying to do it all. Gabriel Jesus being told to get up by Phil Foden. Odegaard with Gabriel dinks it into Nketiah. All the space in the world. Where is the marking? Just drifts in with no one around him there. Eventually we get it clear. Phil Foden stepping forward. Too much, Phil. You lay it off there, mate. You've got to look for the pass. Bernardo Silva getting caught on the ball. Down the line to Phil Foden again. Getting lucky. It's landed back into a City shirt. Rico Lewis can bring it away. Bit fortunately, to be honest. Rico Lewis, right down the middle. Foul, referee. He's in, Rico Lewis! He's gone in and the ref's blown. What's he blowing for there? Is he blown? If he's blown too early... If he's blown too early... I'm fuming. Because if he's he's blown and given a free kick. Because Rico Lewis got back up. It was a foul on Rico Lewis, but he got back up. What do you mean? Martinelli's been brought down Rico Lewis, who's through on goal. And then Rico Lewis sliding on the floor, it ends up hitting his hand. So what's he giving here? But somehow he ends up back on his feet and Rico Lewis is through on goal. If it's a City free kick, then Michael Oliver's fucked us here. Because that should have been play on, see what happens, because Rico Lewis got back up and he finished it. Oh, and it's a City free kick. How are we not fuming? Haaland's fuming. There's a few City players that got around the referee there, but that's poor refereeing. That should be another goal for City. Against the run of play, by the way. Rico Lewis takes a quick one. Poor. Foden, Kovacic. Ruben Diaz. Oh, it's just really disjointed football at the minute. David Raya looking for a quick outlet for Arsenal, trying to hit us on the counter, but City get back in their shape. This is when you get a goal scored against you, when you go for a draw. Yeah, the negative mentality. I don't think we're playing negatively. I think we're playing pragmatically. I think it's a thoughtful setup from City. And I wouldn't be surprised to see if we keep this at 0-0 at the 70th minute and it's still 0-0. Hopefully it is. You see an injection of intent from Manchester City. Maybe that comes through substitutions. Maybe that comes through just the way they play and the setup. And maybe we could produce something in the second half. But second half is all Arsenal. Well, I say all Arsenal. It's flipped. 56% possession for Arsenal to City's 44. 2 shots, 1 on target for Arsenal. 0 for us and 0 on target. Albeit we've had the ball in the back of the net. It was disallowed. Alvarez. Good hold-up play from Haaland. He gets it back to Alvarez. Gvardiol's in. Space. Down the left-hand side. Into Foden. Edge of the area. Alvarez. Oh, it's blocked. Good block from Gabriel. Still not cleared. Kyle Walker. Thinking about having a shot, doesn't, turns back to Bernardo Silva. Dean, I'm a Croat, sorry, Croat, I'm a Croat. Haaland slipped, he was in then, he was about to send Alvarez in, just unlucky that. But I don't see Kovacic's quality to play in City, to be honest. That's honest of you, mate. Good to see you, Dean. Hope you're doing well as well. I'm not sure yet. I'd like to see. But that start of the season that Kovacic has made is still in my mind. I'm still thinking he was very good that first 5 or 6 games of the season. The last 2 or 3, though, it's like, hang on a minute. He's not playing well all of a sudden. You know, a bit sloppy on the ball. Silly decisions with regards to tackling it today. He's got away with it, but I wouldn't write him off yet. We need to get to Christmas before we start talking about whether a player's done well or not in terms of the transfer market. You know, 7 games in, it's too early. 65th minute goal. Shukri's calling. I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. I'm still fuming at that Rico Lewis situation. He bounced back up. I mean, I'm trying to think of an excuse as to why he blew, because Rico Lewis, he slid for very long, like on all fours, on his knees with both his hands on the floor. He was sliding for about a second or two. And in that time, Michael Oliver blew his whistle for the free kick. But he jumped back up onto his feet and he was in all of a sudden and scores. So, you just delay it a little bit, Michael Oliver, and it should be 1-0 City. But did he even think... Because Rico Lewis got up. Even I thought he's not getting back up here. The fact that he got up surprised me. So I understand why he blew the whistle. It didn't look like he was about to get up, but somehow he's got springs for limbs. And he's boing, just ended up back on his feet. Similar to Phil Foden. He's got springs for limbs. They just bounce up, don't they? They land on the floor and it doesn't do anything. They just bounce back up. Rico Lewis and Phil Foden. Can they do it today? Sloppy ball from Ruben Diaz. Gabriel Jesus bringing it forward for Arsenal with Declan Rice on the right wing for an overlap. Gvardiol and Kovacic protecting. Ooh, a bit sloppy. Ben White trying for the overlap. Declan Rice tried to give it in straight to him rather than waiting for the overlap, but Arsenal still have it. Yeah, you could be right, Darren. In terms of Kovacic, is that what you're saying? In terms of Kovacic playing alongside Rodri, made Kovacic look good? Maybe. It could be a good point. I could play alongside Rodri and I think I'd do alright. Fucking Rodri, mate. He's absolutely unbelievable. .61 minutes in. Gabriel Jesus knocks it 1-2 with Ben White, who's in the area. To the edge of the area is Odegaard. Odegaard blocked. Back to Jorginho. Looking for Gabriel Jesus. Jesus coming inside. Onto his left foot. Gets it all the way to Zinchenko. Coming across the edge of the area. Down to the left-hand side of the pitch now. Martinelli with Kyle Walker and Alvarez to beat. Doesn't fancy it. Back to Zinchenko. Whips in. Back post. Gvardiol nods it. Not cleared. It's coming back. Nod by Gabriel Jesus. Good touch. Gabriel Jesus is in. It's blocked by Ake. Good defending from Nathan Ake. Really good touch from Gabriel Jesus. Everyone went right. Gabriel Jesus went left. Well, he went on his right. Good touch from Gabriel Jesus. Foden fell for it. Really good touch. He's clever, isn't he? Gabriel Jesus. Really clever. And Nathan Ake gets the block. Corner to Arsenal. Odegaard. Whipped in. Near post. Up in the air, cleared by Walker. Zinchenko. All the way into Rose Ed. You got to take a draw. Think about it long term, Blues. Obviously the game isn't favourable for City right now. We are in a bit of a... Pep's just done that to somebody. Someone's getting... warming up. But I would take a draw right now because obviously we go top with that draw. It's not just City are top, it's we are top without Kevin De Bruyne. Rodri was missing for 3 of those games as well. Bernardo Silva was missing for a huge chunk of those games. John Stones was missing for all of those games. So to be top with all of those issues and difficulties to get past is incredible. Really, it really is. And I mean, people will say, oh, City, they've got money, they just spend money, that's why they're top, 'cause they spend money. No. Excuse me. City would struggle. Any club in the world would struggle losing these players. City are about to make 3 changes, so there's your changes. And the players that are coming on are John Stones, Jeremy Doku, and Mateus Nunes. Wow. Pep. Pep's going for it. That hurt, that. Slapped myself a bit too hard in the groin. Oh, getting a bit giddy. Hurt myself. Alvarez with space to bring it forward. Foden, space again. Haaland. Oh, big good touch from Haaland into Gvardiol on his right foot. Oh, that's awful from Gvardiol. He's going to keep it in though, Walker. It was that bad. It was kept in by Kyle Walker. Walker down the right hand side. Arsenal back in their shape. Can we get a goal before these substitutions? And if we get a goal, would the substitutions even happen? That's an interesting one. Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Ake, Kovacic bringing it forward. Gabriel feints the overlap, doesn't go for it, keeps his position. Out to Ruben Diaz now. Pushing forward. Rico Lewis with space in the middle. He's been good, Rico Lewis. Really pleased. Really pleased with him. Kovacic hasn't had a bad second half, by the way. He's been alright. Ruben Diaz whips it in. Back post. Rico Lewis is under it. Cleared by Ben White for a corner. Really good ball from Ruben Diaz, that was. Not something you'd say. Delicately cultured. Whipping it in back post, Ruben Diaz. I'd love to see Stonesy play. Well, you're going to get your wish, Section 20. He's coming onto the pitch. But City are not making the substitutions just yet. Taking this corner first. Which makes you wonder, why? Why? Whipped in, near post. Raya punched, big punch as well, good punch. Gabriel Jesus is chasing that. Kyle Walker's got to get that back to Edison. He does, very up in the air. Edison with bags of time to bring that under his control. It is, isn't it, Darren? I agree. There's some really positive feels from, you know, John Stones, Doku and Nunes. I feel positive. I wonder what he's going to do. I wonder what he's going to do. City having a lot of the ball. Last 2 or 3 minutes has been good, you know. A bit more familiar. This is the time of the game where I said City could start showing themselves a little bit and showing their attacking threat. It has been a bit of a boxing match so far, going blow for blow. Arsenal have attacked, we've attacked in spells, not end to end. It's been 10-minute spells of Arsenal pinning us back and 10-minute spells of us pinning them back. So it's not end to end, so it's hardly... it's still exciting, but you know, end-to-end football is the most exciting type of football you can get. But still, this is a game of phases so far. Ruben Diaz taking his time on the ball there, keeps it well. Odegaard tracking back, trying to get it off him, but doesn't. City with the ball for the last minute at least, knocking it about nicely now all of a sudden. Kovacic bringing it down the left-hand side. Gabriel looking for the inside channel, offering an option for Kovacic, doesn't give it him. Back to Bernardo Silva. Rico Lewis right in the middle of the park. Foden's found some space. Foden edge of the area. Haaland's inside. He doesn't... Oh, it's good. Still got Haaland. Foden still in the area. Oh, he's getting shepherded out. Outnumbered in the end. Saliba tries to bring it away. Sorry, Gabriel Jesus tries to bring it away and Gabriel prevents it. Who is coming on? Sorry, who's coming off? Number 82, Rico Lewis. I'm totally disagree. It must be a tactic change then. Must be. Been our best player so far. It's got to be John Stones coming on for him then. Kovacic is coming off. John Stones coming on. Pleased to see. Hopefully he can stay fit. And Julian Alvarez. 2 out of the 3 substitutes I probably wouldn't have made, but it required someone who's not doing that badly to come off. With it being Alvarez and Rico Lewis. I don't think Alvarez has been that good. He's been alright. I think Rico Lewis has been really good. I've been really impressed by Rico Lewis. And I was saying before the game, is the occasion going to get to him? Absolutely not. You know, he's played the game, not the occasion, and he's done a very good job of it. To come off is a little harsh. Doku is playing in the middle of the pitch. Can someone explain this to me, Pep? It's too hard to do this YouTube channel when Pep's the manager of the fan channel that you're trying to run. It's too hard. What are you doing? Oh, there you go. Doku's on the right-hand side. He was in the middle of the pitch a minute ago. I don't know what he's doing. Doku down the right-hand side. Step over on Zinchenko. Zinchenko looks scared. Oh, he steps in and wins the tackle really well. Doku. 1-0 to Zinchenko versus Doku. Do better next time, Doku. Predictable, really, that was. But, yeah. Got a bit carried away there. John Stones is playing as an advanced defensive midfielder, already looking cultured, knocks it through the lines into Bernardo Silva, finds Doku on the right-hand side, beats Zinchenko. Oh, that looked good. This looks better. This looks better. Come on. This looks good. Come on. I'm feeling positive here. I'm feeling good. This looks good from City so far. The shape looks better. We look like we have a bit more of a familiar patterns of play. I think we've gone for 4 at the back. John Stones is going to be... no, we've not. Yeah, it's still 4 at the back, isn't it? So you've got Gabriel left back, Ake, Diaz, 2 centre-backs, Walker right back, John Stones in defensive midfield alongside Mateus Nunes with Bernardo Silva. Oh, Nunes ran away from it. John Stones and Nunes, just complete miscommunication there. John Stones plays it short, Nunes goes long, gives it away, and here come Arsenal. Slowly, here come Arsenal, but here they come nonetheless. But it looks like Bernardo Silva and Foden are sort of... I don't know what they're doing. Like... It looks like a box in midfield, again, with Nunes. Nunes seems to be quite advanced, though. John Stones is definitely playing defensive midfield, and I think you've got a fluid 2 in front of them, of Nunes and Bernardo Silva, behind Haaland, with Doku on the right and Foden on the left. Walker intercepted, guys, giving a foul away, though. Honestly, Pep. Every predicted starting 11 I've gone for this season, I've got more than half of my predicted starting 11s right for the opposition. I've got like 1 in about 10 for City. So difficult. And that 1 was because we had so few numbers. You know, we were out of players. There was it made it easy for me because we had no players. So we had so many injuries and suspensions. It kind of made it an obvious prediction. Bernie looks closer to Haaland. He does. He absolutely does. So John Stones is totally different now. Bernardo Silva is not playing really deep in between the 2 centre-backs. Kyle Walker getting involved there in a little bit of... Doesn't need to do that. Martinelli and Kyle Walker are in a bit of a disagreement. Kyle Walker tried to hold him there. John Stones is playing defensive midfield though, so you're right. Bernardo Silva is definitely playing further up the pitch. It's been all City since the substitutions, and it's made me feel good. We could nick this. What are you trying there, Bernardo Silva? Little scooping the ball over his player there. Wasn't on that. Too silly. No need to do that, Bernardo there. John Stones, Kyle Walker getting back. Does well. Really good from Kyle Walker. Fantastic defending from Kyle Walker. Now do the right thing and play it simple. Could have gone to the right there with Bernardo Silva, but he goes back to Nathan Ake. At least he keeps the ball. Nunes. Back to Ake. The game's changed. The game has changed. 109 in the building, guys. If you could drop a like on the stream, it would be hugely appreciated if you could. It really does help the channel out and all that stuff you've got to say. But if you could, please do. Nunes. Foden. This space is appearing. Doku's on the left-hand side of the pitch now, swapping wings, going up against Ben White. See what you've got, Ben White, because Zinchenko's done well against him so far. Doku into the penalty area. Crossed, blocked by Ben White. Does well, to be fair. Come on, City, we can win this, says Section 20. We absolutely can now. I'm feeling more positive. Pinning Arsenal back in the final stages of the game at the Emirates. It's good. I did say this game was going to have phases, and it's our time, but there's plenty of time for them to have a phase, you know. Lots of communication going on between Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, Gabriel and Haaland, all of them talking like this. Like that. Near post, in other words. Whips it in. Straight down the middle, into Raya's hands. So all that was absolutely pointless. Poor delivery. John Stones' goal, Ryan's calling. Put $25 on City to win after those subs. No way, Jeff. I hope I don't let you down because I've given you the big up here, haven't I? I've given you a bit of a positive feeling, but here come Arsenal. You might regret that, mate. Odegaard over the bar. Pretty poor from Odegaard. There's been a couple of players in the Arsenal team. Oh, hang on a minute. Here come the Arsenal substitutions. Tomiyasu, Partey and Kai Havertz all coming onto the pitch. Zinchenko leaving. Roblox fan, good to see you. Welcome to the stream, mate. Tomiyasu on for Zinchenko. Nketiah off. Tomiyasu's a mad one. There are games I watch and I'm like, he's an unbelievable defender, really good. And then other games I watch and I'm like, he's a calamity. He's a disaster. Jorginho coming off. That's got to be for Partey. You remember the Kevin De Bruyne mistake? Kevin De Bruyne knocking it over the head of Ramsdale at the Emirates last season. Tomiyasu giving it away. Short back pass. So it's Nketiah off for Havertz. Havertz got to be going as a number 9. Partey. So it looks like a straight swap, really. So I don't see much of a system change from Arsenal's point of view, which is good news. Because I think our system that we've brought onto the pitch so far is working better than theirs. Foden, give it. Oh, he's poor. Really poor from Foden. That pass was simple, Phil. Really, Phil. That was poor. Here comes Jesus. So sloppy, that. Núñez with about 15-yard radius of space and he still doesn't find him. Jesus down the right-hand side. Doku getting back. Double teaming with Gvardiol. Odegaard in the area. Gvardiol's got to get out to that. Block the cross. Well done. Gvardiol, brilliant. Oh, Jesus wins it back. Not necessarily. Doku trying to burst forward. Not there, Doku. Can't lose it there, mate. Luckily, it goes backwards rather than forwards. Thomas Partey sends it forward. Doku doing his best to help Gvardiol. He's done a great job. Corner ball, though, to Arsenal. Feeling a bit ropey now all of a sudden. These subs have swinged it a little bit more in Arsenal's favour now. It's more fresh legs than a change of system. Sloppy play from City has caused this. 2 passes there. Doku being a bit silly there, trying to play it out from the back. Before that, Phil Foden just giving it away to Núñez. But doesn't mean you don't defend the corner properly. Defend the corner. Odegaard. Kyle Walker gets underneath it and clears it. Doku nods it back away from goal, but it's not clear. Declan Rice. Doku getting back. Does really well, Doku. Takes it off Declan Rice and then beats him. Not there, Doku. Too much. He's got to stop dribbling it out like that. It's too dangerous. I don't know, you see what he's trying, but it's too dangerous. He's given it away for like twice now, Doku. Dribbling it out from the left-back position. Throw into Arsenal in a dangerous area. Luckily, Ben White throws it all the way back to Partey. Imagine if Haaland scores, says Roblox fan. Imagine, mate. Imagine if he doesn't, though. That's the issue. We're talking about 4 games without a Haaland goal. That is a drought by most Premier League strikers' standards, not just Haaland. 4 games without a goal. I think most strikers want to score a goal in 4 games, you know. But don't write him off. That doesn't mean it's the end of Erling Haaland or any nonsense like that. Absolutely not. But this game's gone back to Arsenal now. The pendulum has swung with those substitutions. Saliba bringing it forward. Partey. John Stones stepping out. City really deep. In line with the penalty spot. Inviting pressure here, so deep. Dinked all the way back to Gabriel Jesus. Brings it down with his hand, surely. No decision. Gvardiol takes him out of the area. Núñez nods it into Doku. Just stop it, Doku! Caught on the ball nearly again. You can't. I enjoy the dribbling. That's not where you dribble. You don't dribble in left back. You don't dribble there, Doku. If you can't get rid, you just get. If you can't get with the ball at your feet, just get rid. Play it safe. Trying to beat a player in fucking left back, mate. If you're gonna do it, you do it. Núñez turns really good. Beats Thomas Partey. Really good body language there from Núñez. Sold Thomas Partey down the river. Stones knocks it back to Edison. 12 minutes to go. Needs to get KDB back, and he'll score a bucket load again. Haaland, I'm presuming. Yeah, he's had nothing to really go off Haaland in this game. He's had no chances, so it's not like he should have scored. Thankfully, you know, I'd rather talk about Haaland not having any chances and let's focus on the team. if you want to talk solely about Erling Haaland, because prior games it was like he's getting chances and missing them. You know, big chances. West Ham was huge amount of chances. Sheffield United, he got his goal eventually, but even in his celebration you could tell he was like, oh, thank God I scored, finally. And then Wolves and Newcastle, chances. Not against Newcastle, he didn't play at all, did he? But he did get chances against Wolves. Núñez. It's been to be honest, quite a boring game for the neutral. I think City fans are going to feel the intensity of this game because of what's at stake. Stones closed down by Partey. Knew it. Gets it back to Diaz. My heart's racing. Feeling it. Feeling the pressure. Keep Doku upfield, says Darren. I agree, mate. There he is, upfield, as you requested. Listen to Darren. I think Núñez has looked great since he's come on. He looked composed, controlled, kept the ball really well. That one little bit of miscommunication from between himself and Stones. More Stones' fault than Núñez's, in truth. Núñez bringing it forward into the channel. 1-2 with Haaland. Here comes Núñez. Brought down by Declan Rice. It was a fantastic tackle by Declan Rice, that was. Absolute crunched. Gvardiol, beautiful little flick. Gvardiol doesn't even need to tackle him, just flicks it behind the back of his standing leg. Kyle Walker bringing it forward. We can win this. Bring it forward. We can nick this. Imagine nicking it. It's too early for hands on heads, isn't it, really? I'm already uncomfortable. I think Gvardiol's been good as well. I want to mention Gvardiol. I thought he's been brilliant so far. Foden found a pocket. Oh, Foden! It's intercepted by Jesus. Wins it back, Phil. Well done, Phil. Get back. And won it. Really good football from Phil Foden. Might have been poor the first bit, but to get back and win it back, that's what you want after a mistake. You're right, Section. He everything that Jesus has sent Gvardiol's way, he's dealt with really well. I mean, Jesus is a tricky customer. He's a tricky boy, Jesus, isn't he? He really is. It's just a box of tricks and like unpredictable, isn't he, Jesus? I think Foden's already found that out in this game because he got done, Phil Foden, in the box. Walker. Haaland sort of... No, it's gone out. Haaland sort of made the run there. Kyle Walker tried to feed it down the line, sort of into the channel, into the path of Haaland, but Haaland didn't really... He sort of like indicated, I'm going to run, but I'm not going to... He needs to make... If you're going to run. Make the run clear. Long throw from Kyle Walker into Haaland in the area. He's got to knock it back to Phil Foden. Corner ball to City, is it? No, it's not. It's come off Phil Foden. Jay's Killers. Don't worry about it, Jay's Killers. Now, all we're waiting for is your prediction. 3-0 Arsenal, I'm guessing, is what you're going to go for, Jay's Killers. Jay's Killers is renowned, for anyone who doesn't know, for predicting opposition scores to be the win. But don't need to apologise, mate. But what is your prediction? I'm curious. The good news about KDB is that he's recovering quicker than expected, according to me. I heard that as well. 2-0 Arsenal. Fuck you, Jay's Killers. Ads are worst. What do you mean? Is there advert? Sorry, mate. It's YouTube, mate. You can pay for the adverts to not appear if you go premium. But do you know what? I have an option. I want credit for this. I have the option to click at the start of every stream how often adverts appear, and I pick the lowest option for you guys. I make less money, but it doesn't interrupt your viewing pleasure. So I want credit for that. That's something I didn't need to tell you, but thought I'd tell you anyway. Arsenal bringing it forward. Jesus knocking it back to Partey down the right-hand side. Saliba. 7 minutes to go. 6 minutes to go until stoppage time. Doku nearly intercepted that. It's been... it's not really end-to-end, but it's been... Oh, Odegaard's in! Edge of the area. Back to Jesus. Jesus, trickery. Clear it. Ake clears it. Does just that. Probably the best, not even a chance, but best moment for Arsenal, that was. They're holding the play here. Asking for it. Looking at a penalty, are they? No. Get on with the game. Nathan Ake sticks out a right foot, but hey, it doesn't touch him. Touches the ball, gets the ball. Good tackle. Nathan Ake, that's fantastic defending. Brilliant. And the game plays on, as it should. Oh, Nathan Ake. Long ball from Raya. Out for a throw-in. 5 minutes to go, so you can scrap the 2-2. That's in the bin. 2-2. I feel like a late goal. I feel like a late goal's coming, and I don't know which way, because it's gone both ways, hasn't it? The game has swung. It's ebbed and flowed. But which way will it eventually lie? Which side of the coin will it land on? Or will it not land on any side? Don't know what happens when a coin lands like that. I don't know. Very rare. But Santiago, good to see you. Important matches like this, Guardiola can't be okay with Haaland doing nothing, in my opinion. You might have an opinion there, a shout there. That's not a bad shout, because I do think he could have involved himself more in this second half, because here comes Tomiyasu, Kai Havertz, Nathan Ake on his shoulder, Martinelli, deflected, goal! Shite! Just a scummy goal. Another scummy goal. Similar to their goal at the Community Shield. Just like it was going wide. It was going to be saved. And there you go. Deflected off what looks to be Nathan Ake. 1-0 Arsenal. Yeah, you take the draw now. It's just moments like that, you know. It's a moment thing. Long ball over the top. Tomiyasu nods it down to Kai Havertz, who knocks it, and it's just shite to watch. It's just horrible watching that. Nothing that can be done about it, really. It's Nathan Ake. It's clipped Nathan Ake on his chest as he's trying to block the ball. He can't do anything about that. It's just pure luck. It's clipped his head and gone in. It wasn't. I don't even think it could go down as an own goal. No, it's on target, so it is a Martinelli goal. I think that's unlucky. And the picture of Mikel Arteta's face is the last thing in the world I want to see right now. Feels harsh. It feels harsh. It doesn't feel like we should be losing this game. It doesn't feel like we should be winning it. I felt like a draw would have been a fair result. I really don't feel like we should be losing this game. But here we are. Brace yourself, Blues. We're going to have to deal with the Arsenal fans now for quite some time. Assuming they're now going to win the league. Of course they are. They're going to win the league now all of a sudden. Like they've not learnt the lessons from last season. But here we are. Fucking hell. Stunned. Manchester's still blue. Of course it is, Stuart. Of course it is. I mean, that makes you feel better, doesn't it? You can always rely on United to cheer yourself up. Even though they won at the weekend, I still just look at the league table. Another long ball. And here come Arsenal again. 2-0 would be a joke. An absolute joke. Arsenal knocking it about, playing a bit of keep ball. Don't blame them, really. Playing a bit of possession football now. Keep the ball away from City. Keep the ball, you win the game. And Raya knocks it forward, which is mental. He's found his man, though. How has that happened? City defending there was poor. How's a long ball like that finding Kai Havertz and he's able to bring it down with his foot? How? It's unacceptable defending that. That's shite. Shouldn't be happening. A long ball should be met by a City player. We outnumbered them then, and long balls effectively giving us the ball back. Back with David Raya again. Who's going to go long again? And he's found his man. What are we playing at here? Gabriel Jesus brings it down. Stones intercepts. Doku, poor touch. Is he going to win it back? No. Doku's had very little impact on this game. There was that little 5-minute flurry where we made our substitutions and we looked good. It was like, here we go, we're controlling the game here. And then they made their substitutions and it's worked. It's worked better. And I mean, it's not really... Has it worked? Has it worked? Because I'm talking about a goal that was deflected. Ederson had that covered. That's just a moment of luck. John Stones bringing it forward. 4 minutes of injury time. Bernardo Silva to Phil Foden on the right hand side. Foden whips it, right, smashes it, crossed all the way across to Doku, brings it down. Doku slows it down. Knocks it safely back to Gabriel. Gabriel into Jeremy Doku, overhit, goal kick. I feel like Pep slumped in my chair. This is how Pep sits, doesn't he, after a goal? This is all you see of Pep. Shite. So what is it, 12 games in a row? Arsenal haven't beaten us in 12 games. Is about to come to an end. That's a Premier League record, you know, by the way, just to let you know, against one single opposition. An Arsenal Premier League record, their personal record of losing to a single opposition in a row. Unbeaten in a row is 12 games. And it's against Manchester City. It's about to come to an end. I mean, you're thinking, what was it? When did they score? It was like the 86th minute or something. You're thinking, still time, we can get a chance. Not even looking like scoring right now. If anything, it looks like it could become 2-0. Gaps are appearing all over our defence, and they're finding red shirts. Kai Havertz taking it into the corner. Doku's bringing it in. Corner, no, Doku bringing it away. Foul to City. Gabriel Jesus pretending he hasn't heard the whistle, you little shit. Give it back. Oh, fuck off. Gabriel Jesus has gone down. Get up, you little shithouse. Honestly. Michael Oliver booking someone. Gabriel Jesus and Ederson, I think, has been booked. The only thing that annoys me is that we're never going to hear the end of this every time City is brought up, says Danny W. Yeah, well, it's like they don't learn the lessons, is it? If they want to get on the high horses, Arsenal fans, like they've won the league already, 8 games in? Good. That's fantastic news. If I'm an Arsenal fan, what I'm saying is, right, good win, carry on, same as usual, keep going forward. Don't take this result as too much of a momentum shift. Enjoy it, of course. Enjoy the night. Next game, don't let it be too much of don't overthink it. Don't take this confidence too high. And we'll see. Long ball from Ederson all the way through to David Raya. I think that's that. This is the Rodri failure. Though we should be able to recover, this causes the whole team problems. Lacking in the holding midfielder, says James. Heads up, Blues. Pep will sort this. Plus, we've got a few players back. Plus, Rodgers is back next game. Yeah, I agree. Long ball coming up is about to be full time. There was that Gabriel Jesus and Ederson clash that might add an extra 10-20 seconds. Can't see it happening, to be honest. I can't pretend I'm not gutted. Throw into Arsenal. Full time. That's that. Arsenal have beaten Manchester City for the first time in 12 games. Can't pretend it doesn't hurt. But you take this one on the chin. You take this one on the chin. You certainly don't take to social media and start blaming individuals. I don't think this is the time to do that. You allow Arsenal, let the babies have their bottles, as they say, and let that emotion flood through their veins in the hope that it gets too much for them when the season really starts to kick into shape. And the end of the season is when it matters. You know, where you are right now has no effect on where you are at the end of the season. So stay positive, Blues. It's not the end of the season. You know, there's plenty of positives to take from this game. There are some negatives to take from this game. I think the shape was a bit interesting in the first half. Pep making those substitutions in the second half made the game look better from a City perspective, and I think it did. John, thanks for the 2 before you shoot off. I told Nunes offers nothing. I thought he did all right, mate. I thought he did all right, but still, you know, thank you very much for the 2. Do appreciate that. Still fuming though, Johnny, says Darren. I agree, mate. I'm fuming. It's the nature of the defeat, isn't it? It's like if we lose through playing really badly, I don't think we played badly. I don't think they played superbly well. I thought 2 teams were even. I think there was an element of nerves more in their game than our game. I think we certainly can play better. We didn't play well, but we didn't play badly. I just feel like just that moment, just a shitty moment of bad luck. Nathan Ake doing what every good defender does in trying to get in front of the goal, block the shot, and just comes off his face and deflects into an open net. You know, can't do much about it. Roblox fan, that's a good way to end the channel. This is not their channel. We could end the channel. Shall I just call it a day? So City have lost. I'm quitting. But yeah, that's a good note to end it on. I hate Arsenal. Yeah, mate, that's what's the ref on about, Darren. But thanks very much for joining me in the chat. Do appreciate it. Sour note to end today on, unfortunately. I will be doing a match reaction after this as soon as I can. But don't let it hit you too hard. International break's going to take an age. It's going to take an age. But we'll get back, beat Brighton. Got to beat Brighton, get back to winning ways, put the pressure on the other teams. Thankfully, only Liverpool drew today, so there's a positive. And it's all kicking off here. Haaland is kicking off. It's all kicking off. Someone's having words. City look fired up. Good. Kyle Walker being telling the Arsenal officials to get his hands off him as they make their way down the tunnel. Yeah, a bit sour note ending on it. Don't need to see any of that really. I mean, it's good to see they care, but at the same time, let's not be too sour with the loss. You don't want to act like Arsenal, you know, too overly emotional. Take the loss on the chin, take the L, walk away, come back bigger, better, and we'll do this. We'll do this. Anyway, Blues, I'm off. Join me for the match reaction. I'll do this as soon as I can after this. Follow me for that if you can. Drop a like on your way out of the stream. That'd be hugely appreciated. And thanks very much for joining me in this watch along. And I'll see you in the next one.